videos. I just you know, I'll just stand and watch for 5 minutes and just, you know, and it's surprising how much you can learn by just standing and watching. Seen some of the best strategies ever for building, you know, 2x2 brick pillars by just watching a, you know, fast bricklayer build them. Obviously, you know, you'll have your own little, you know, spins and takes on them. But like this, what I'm doing with big corners, I think I was the only bricklayer I've seen it last fucking, you know, 5 or 6 years who's built 20 course corners on a garage, you know. But today it worked for me, you know what I mean. Today, you know, I laid, you know, almost 700 bricks on this garage and did it by all freehand with a level, building corners, no profiles involved today. I had my profiles right next to me, but I just, for the circumstance how I was working, you know, with not a labourer, solo day, hashtag solo, you know, it worked out for me this day, and I've got a lot quicker at building corners in the past, you know, couple of years. I was always a big advocate of building corners, even a good 3-4 years ago. I never really liked using profiles, even when I first got my first set of profiles. I struggled to put them on. It used to take me ages. I used to get frustrated. I used to, a lot of the time, just want to build a corner, you know what I mean? And it's something I've recently gone back to, just trying to improve speed on the corners. And as well, I always find if you build 2 plumb corners, doesn't matter what, you know, how the brickwork below is cutting, you know, you have a dodgy first course or so if, you know, if someone's had a slack line or you've had a line layer, as I've heard been referred to as someone who lays on the line. So if you've had a line layer below you, and then you obviously you're running in your first course between 2 corners, it only takes 3 or 4 courses and you know your gable's running plumb. So you know, I always find you build 2 corners, no matter how bad the brickwork below is, you know, your brickwork's always going to run plumb. Your gable's going to run plumb, your filling in's going to run plumb. Whereas you use a profile, and sometimes that profile moves. Don't matter how many F-clamps you've got on it, sometimes, you know, you're putting that brick against the profile and it's just shoving it out that little bit, that millimetre each time. And, you know, and especially I'm guilty of doing this. I use a profile and sometimes, you know, I push my fucking brick onto the line of the, you know, that's running off the profile. I'm a bit lazy with it, you know, and it lips out a little bit. And you get to the end, you take the profile off, and you know, you look down the Harris, the corner Harris, it's looking a bit funky, and you think, oh, that's why I always fucking speedboating the brick into the other brick, and it was fucking shoving it out. So you know, I'm guilty of doing it too. But I find with the corner, it just takes away that level of error. It's just something else that, you know, that can throw you off in a day. I've done it before. I've took a profile off, and it's been like fucking hell. It's been like fucking dogtooth teeth all over, you know, especially on these bricks with the curvy Harrises, especially on your head, on your headers at the end of the brick. You know, you can have a curvy Harris on that, and you know, it makes you the corner of your house or the corner of a garage or whatever you're building just look a bit ropey. So I always end up having to put my level up the corner again and just prizing a few bricks out, making it look a bit neater. And I've had it before, I've had to pull them out with brick hammer and stuff to make them look neat. And that's sometimes with profiles, especially if it's wet bricks or you haven't got your profile set sturdy, you know, it's something that can always, you know, it can always make your work look a bit rough if you don't keep on top of. So that's why another reason I like to build corners as well. And it's been highlighted by other guys who make YouTube videos for bricklaying, is profiles are only faster a lot of the time if you set them up before you get your mortar. So that basically rules me out most days, because I always get my mortar before I even step foot on the build that I'm going to do or the job I'm going to do that day. So I always go get my tub of mortar first, and then I walk up and basically my tub of mortar is either already there or it's just following me. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to start, you know, putting profiles up unless I've got somewhere to put them on straight away. You know, it makes more sense for me to start building the corner a lot of the work I do. But, you know, profiles do have its place, and I will use them if there is, you know, a place to utilise them and, you know, gain a bit of speed on the job. But, yeah, touching on the mortar subject as well, I'll make a dedicated video on this. Me personally, this is just, you know, obviously what I do. A lot of these videos are just basically what I do. But obviously people find, you know, people are finding these tips helpful. I always get my own mortar. I always put my own tubs in. I don't rely on the labourer to do it. I don't rely on my dad to do it. He's done it a few times. It's basically not really been how I want it. And I found it made the day incredibly hard. So I spend an extra 5-10 minutes putting it in myself. I only have to put 2 and a bit, you know, 2 tubs in a day on an average day, and then 2.5 tubs if I'm having if I'm on a streak and I'm blazing. But for that extra half an hour a day of putting tubs in, you know, it's worth it to me. It'll speed me up throughout a day. I think my mortar just right. Because if your mortar comes fucking wrong, it can really fuck your day up. It can make something incredibly slow. And it still baffles me to this day where you see the bricklayer shouting at the labourer, oh, the mortar's fucking wrong, it's wrong that, having a go at them, basically being a fucking arsehole. And, you know, he should have gone and got it himself if he wasn't happy with it. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to take the chance the mortar's going to be slightly different than every day, you know, you shouldn't be having a go at your labourer. It's not his fault. He's not a bricklayer. You know, you should go and put it in yourself and stop being a fucking needy bastard. You know what I mean? That's what I do. That's what I did a very long time ago. I always put my own mortar in. I used to even just sit and watch the labourer put it in and say, oh, it just needs to be a bit more like this or a bit like that. And then now I've got to the point where I just do it myself. You know, it's a lot, you know, I find it a lot easier. Especially in winter. Especially in winters. You know, in summer you can get away with it being a bit more like piss, but any job really, you need your mortar right. I don't care what you say. If it comes like shit, you're going to lay a fraction of the speed. You're going to get less done. You know, it's just one of the things I do. And I'm going to make a more dedicated video on that at some point. I think we're coming up on like 30 minutes of talking about building corners, but it's just something no one really seems to talk about, you know. Yeah. Trying to think of any other points that I've not mentioned. Yeah, I'll think of something else later. I'll probably add it to my other video. But yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit different footage. Obviously, a lot of the footage is just me laying to a line, but you can see me here using the level. I think a lot of people presume I use pick and dip and I can't lay traditional and I can't, you know, use a level, but I enjoy using the level, and I try to speed up every day using the level. And I have thought about some days laying traditional, but the amount of arm movement and speed it takes to lay at somewhat the same pace as pick and dip, I ain't got the energy for it right about now. I'm on my 3rd week of having a cold, sniffly nose, and I just I need to keep going and using as less effort as possible. So yeah. Anyway, I'd like to just thank everyone for subscribing as well. I'm about 175 subs at the time of this recording. Really appreciating all the positive feedback. Still baffles me to this day that I actually get any views, that people actually like watching bricklaying content. I watch, I've watched that Charlie Collinson quite a lot. Watched quite a few of his videos. I've watched a few of the guys, to be honest, but I like these voiced over. I tend to go and watch the guys who voice over the videos rather than the live, GoPro footage. I find it's just, anyone who works on a building site knows how noisy it is. If I turn my live audio on at the end here, you'll hear how noisy it is, and it's just fucking not pleasant to hear. And that's why, when I eventually get an action cam, whether it be a GoPro or a different branded one, I'm going to probably try and limit the amount of time. Obviously, I've got live audio, because it just sounds so bad, especially on sites where I'm working right next to basically across from where they're building the footings. So all the ground workers are blazing around in the dumpers, beeping everywhere. There's 3 forklifts on the site, fucking all beeping around. So, you know, it's not something that you want to hear all the time, especially on a video. I do find this voiceover versions of, you know, the voiced over content I find it a lot more, well, I'd find it more helpful if someone was teaching me. If I was trying to learn off this video, you know, hearing the voice clearly down the microphone and hearing it, you know, voiced over is a lot easier to, you know, to take in. And that's what basically I'm about with these videos. It's not a, you know, I know people try and make it all about them, these videos, but these are just basically, my idea of these videos is to bring, you know, some no bullshit content, some, you know, some advice, and you know, just a few tips, because I know there's things that I'm doing here that I haven't seen anyone else do. And there's a lot of things that I do that I have seen other people do, but I haven't seen it on YouTube, and I've not seen videos about it, discussing it, and I've had to learn it through just watching and, you know, finding out over years of experience and trial and error and doing it the slow way for a long time to find out these methods. So if I watched some of these videos that I'm making now, you know, 5 years ago, it'd have blown my mind at some of the ways you can speed yourself up. So anyway, guys, thanks all for watching, and if you enjoy the video, give us a like and a comment, and if I earned your subscribe, you know, your sub, give us a subscribe, it really helps. Trying to reach the next milestone of 250. I know it goes about 100, 250, and then like 500 and 1,000. So, you know, I'll make a video anyway when I finally reach 250. So thanks a lot. You know, thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to cut to the raw footage now, I think, or I might put some music over it. Since obviously when I do these voiceovers, I have like a tune in the background to just take away my droney tone while I'm having a beer, recording these. But yeah, I'll be probably splitting this video into multiple parts, so I do apologise if anyone wants to watch, you know, longer form content. Just give us a comment and let us know if you prefer the 10 or 15 minute length videos as opposed to, you know, like a 30 or 40 minute video. But I find the 10 or 15 minute videos, I can more consistently split the video up and then, you know, upload it in segments through over 3 days. So you get a video every day. That's my main goal with this channel, is to just put a video out a day. Because like today I recorded a good 3 or 4 videos worth of footage, and it only took me like 5 minutes to do. So obviously, if it's me just working away, it only took me about 5 minutes to set the camera up, etc, etc. So just let me know if you want to see longer form content. But I'd personally, if I was watching Bricklaying videos, I do like the 10 minute length videos. I do find them more watchable, and they hold your attention span longer, whether than when someone droning on about. Like, I've watched some videos and it's just someone setting a profile up for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, that's just boring. So yeah, I'll say it again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.